So once again, we have an episode that accurately adapts 2 chapters of the Kimetsu no Yaiba manga. Every director and storyboarder so far has stuck to this formula, and I mean, I don't really blame them, it's working so well. This episode beginning the coverage of the final selection, an exam of sorts that every swordsman must take if they want to become a part of the Demon Slayer Corps. Now when it comes to how this episode did as an adaptation, it's once again a job well done. To be frank, I thought that if there was an episode where we would see some more deviation from the manga, that it would be this one. And I'm not talking about deviations in terms of story, of course, but as in maybe cutting some things out here and there. Because honestly, I find it quite astonishing just how much this anime adaptation has stuck to its original source material. These chapters in particular have some minor exposition, extended dialogues, and of course, fight sequences, in which not only do we get a better understanding of how demons are power scaled, but also we get our first look at Tanjirou and his use of the breath of water techniques. So I was under the impression that some of the aforementioned exposition and dialogues would get cut down to truly give those things like the demons and their power and Tanjiro using the breath of water techniques the correct amount of attention. But no, pretty much everything made it into the adaptation and everything got the required amount of attention in my opinion. Certain scenes and pieces of exposition were just rearranged and put in places where the scene itself or information given would not interrupt any of the action or just be more clear and make more sense. Though even those rearrangements were adapted and storyboarded as accurately as every other scene we've gotten. There has been very little risk taking so far, but honestly I think that's the best way to get the best results from this adaptation, especially its beginning, and honestly I'm absolutely loving it. Ever since I saw Tanjiro use the breath of water techniques during the opening after the first episode, I was absolutely in love with the look of it. And I guess I'm mentioning this here more so in the analysis portion of this discussion rather than in the how this episode did as an adaptation portion of the discussion, because Tanjiro's use of said water techniques marks such a big moment for him. Last episode we really talked about what it means to be a part of the Demon Slayer Corps. But it was more of an emotional, more individual way of seeing one's desire to involve themselves with the Demon Slayers. However, last episode with the training segments and this episode with the combat showed us what it takes to be a part of the Demon Slayer Corps. As I literally just mentioned, the training, we saw early on Tanjiro trying out all the different stances and movements. We saw how important it was for a demon slayer to be able to control their breathing, as it's that power, these techniques that allow them to make up for the difference in strength humans have when facing a demon. But on a more personal level, the moment Tanjiro slices through the neck of those 2 demons meant not only that he had acquired the strength to fight, but also that he had the ability, drive, and means to do what he set out to do and turn Nezuko, his sister, back into a human. Because yeah, Tanjiro was able to eventually beat Sabito, a very capable swordsman. And yeah, he was able to slice the largest boulder Urokodaki has ever set for one of his students in 2. But all of that would mean absolutely jack shit if when confronted with demons, Tanjiro was capable of nothing. But no, Tanjiro saved himself and then saved someone else. And honestly, while I'd like to think that I'd be willing to put my life on the line to save somebody who just put their life on the line to save me, I can't say so for sure. Remember, everybody has a reason for joining the Demon Slayer Corps. Their death, meaning they will not be able to fulfill whatever they set out to fulfill. Revenge, hate, all of that is gone if the holder of said rage dies. And it's here where we see another interesting aspect of Tanjirou shine once again, and it's one that we were already somewhat familiar with, and that's his kindness. Tanjirou, someone who has every reason to want to get rid of the demons, harbors hate for them, but he's still able to see them for what they once were. Human, just like Urokodaki, Sabito, and Makomo. The important thing to remember here is that demons aren't just these brainless creatures. Most may act and look like these brainless creatures, but they too harbor hate, they too want revenge, and hey, maybe some of the demons we run into in this journey may be kind. But just like how Urokodaki, Sabito, Makomo, and every one of Urokodaki's students that were eaten by that demon can hate him, the demon that was restrained and trapped in this forest for years also has a valid reason for spiting Urokodaki the only way he can. And while Urokodaki might think he can't do anything about the hate that demon feels towards him and any student wearing a fox mask, he can. He can continue training students and continue teaching the ways of water breathing. Though it's not difficult to understand Urokodaki, he loves his students, Tanjirou included, and couldn't bear to see more young lives being ended due to something he did, something he's responsible for, which is why he set Tanjirou up for failure. But, as Urokodaki soon learned, you can't suppress a fire that's as fierce and as hot as the one raging inside of Tanjirou. And that same fire is the one burning in Sabito, Makomo, and all of the children that were once Urokodaki's students, but are now watching over Tanjirou as he continues on this journey of his. But hey, these are my thoughts and I'm curious to read yours. If you're an anime only, let me know how you felt about this episode, what's your impression on the final selection, and did you enjoy the look of the water breathing techniques? And if you're a manga reader, let me know how you felt Ufotable adapted this episode and what parts did you think they could have done better with, if any. Also, feel free to discuss anything I forgot to mention in the comments below. Please like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell. That way, you don't miss a video and can continue watching Kimetsu no Yaiba and many other series with me. And with that being said, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all soon. Bye bye.